Hello, it's me, Aaron, and today I will list all the terrible things that Dark Souls 2 did because fuck you. So let's just begin. But wait, disclaimer first. I'm talking about Dark Souls 2 right now, but it doesn't mean some of what I'm saying doesn't apply to the other Souls games. Oh, and also, I know, Dark Souls 2 is Dark Souls 2, and saying it's bad because it did things differently than Dark Souls is stupid. It's a different game, I understand, but some of what it did, as a different game, was just terrible. So yeah. 1. Hollowing. So in Dark Souls, dying makes you hollow, and being hollow makes you incapable of engaging in multiplayer, so you can't get invaded or summoned. And also it makes you look like beef jerky, but that's about it. And Dark Souls 2 thought that losing your souls when you die wasn't enough, and so they added another punishment to dying by just lowering your health so that you die even more. Like, why? I really don't understand the goal of this feature. Like, death is supposed to be normal. The gameplay loop of Dark Souls is literally die, get better, go further. And losing your souls was balanced. You lose your soul at the place you died, but you can go get them, and you only permanently lose them if you die again before getting them back. So it only punishes you for not getting better, which is awesome and balanced. But Dark Souls 2 Hollowing is just free. Just fuck you, and that's not it. Now you can get invaded while hollow. But maybe they balanced it out, and now you don't have to be human to summon. Well, no, of course not. So yeah, all the changes that Dark Souls 2 did to Hollowing is just to be harder and nothing else. Difficulty, because why not, you know? Dark Souls is supposed to be a hard game, right? So it only makes sense to be even harder for some reason. But like, it's challenge that is fun, not just being hard. It's being challenged and overcoming those impossible odds. And just making the game harder by decreasing one of my stats isn't making it better. Like, this change really didn't add anything. It just forced me to go farm some human effigies, which is a pain, to even have a chance against the late game bosses. Oh, and don't mention the binding ring. Ring slots are important, and I don't feel like wasting one on a shitty mechanic. Also, the King's Crown. Wow, what a useful thing to have at the end of the game. I was really going to die a lot and need this against the most disappointing final boss in the Soul series. Oh, and Dark Souls 2 Hollows just look awful. And yeah, I know I said that in one of my previous videos. So yeah, there it is.
Why are the hollows green? Why this cliche zombie look? I fucking hate it. The look from Dark Souls 1 was way more Dark Souls. Now I just look like a zombie, and while hollows and zombies have some similar traits, they're still different. And I don't like this bridge between the two they made with their appearance. But anyways.
2. Making boss runbacks do the exact opposite of what they're supposed to do. I also already talked about this, so I mean, just go watch this video in which I extensively talk about that. Yeah. 3. Oh no, look! Another ambush! So yeah, if you played the game, you know what I am talking about. Every fucking corner, it just never stops. Every time there's a wall to hide something behind, it's an enemy. Like, in Dark Souls, there were some ambushes, but Dark Souls 2 just boosted it to 200%. It's just insane. Oh, and look, it's Forlorn, just a guy who will randomly invade you. I mean, okay, sure, but like, come on. 4. Oh no, look, another trap. So, when I finished Dark Souls 2, I realized that 60% of my death were actually caused by surprise ambushes and traps that I couldn't have predicted. So yeah, thank you Dark Souls 2. Like, I'm sorry, but at some points it just didn't feel fair at all. And that I have to die at least once per encounter, and that the only way to win is by already knowing everything that's gonna happen. And I really didn't have this feeling when playing other FromSoft games. Like, I'm going to give you an example. The poison statues in the Gulch. Like, sure, there is a similar trap in the Catacombs, but in the Catacombs it felt balanced. You could spot them and go around. There were only a few, they would like, you know, be in the background, you wouldn't maybe notice them, and they're just, you know, merely little spikes. It felt balanced. But now in Blight Town the sequel, they put automatic turrets everywhere, and you can possibly spot and avoid them all by just looking. And even if you did spot them all, Honestly, going to each individual statue and breaking it is the most boring thing you can do in this game next to lighting all the torches. And also, don't tell me to just roll. Dude, is rolling every millisecond for an entire area a fun experience? No. No, it isn't. And it's all made worse by the fact that poison has been buffed. And when I say buffed, I mean buffed. But I guess they just wanted to make it an actually threatening status effect. Like it added some complexity to some areas in Dark Souls 1, but now in Dark Souls 2, it's more of a quick you're gonna die heal immediately. A bit like Scarlet Rot, but somehow even more extreme. I don't really have a problem with it. But the random jars that just poison you instantly when you dare to roll into them is heartless. Like, come on Dark Souls 2, I just wanted to have fun and break all the jars, and you've ruined it by putting toxic waste in them. That's just a dick move. 5. I love getting ganked. So yeah, this one got amplified in Scholar of the First Sin. Like, don't get me wrong, there is some very good enemy placement, but sometimes it just felt like they didn't know what to do and just filled the room with enemies. And it's also the case with bosses. When no idea for a boss, just fill the room with shit, I don't know. Like, skeleton lords. 3 really weak skeleton fellas, and then just a massive group of skeleton. Like, why? Where's the boss design? Where's the anything? Like, and you remember the gargoyles from Dark Souls 1. Yeah, like the 2 gargoyles? Well, let's just triple it. That'll do it. Oh, and you remember rats? Well, let's just put some rats in a room and one of them is actually the real boss. Look, he has a little bit of a hair there. Oh, and remember this random fucking guy you fought at the beginning of the game? Well, what if we added another one? Is that a good balanced boss fight? Oh, and Duke Zephyria is too easy, so let's just put enemies in there. Like, it feels like their answer to bosses being too easy or just not having ideas is just put some more shit in there. It'll work out. And now they don't even care anymore. Just look at this. 3 random guys and some hollows. Like, there are some amazing boss fights in their game. There really are. But why did they put Amogus and the congregation in the final product? Like, we really didn't need this. And then I could go on, you know, just like Zolot and Zalan, so remember the dog for the beginning of the DLC? Well, what about him? Again, but twice, and at the end of the worst area in all of the, I don't know, the fucking universe probably. 6. Adaptability. So it was when I was like struggling against Fume Knight, and I realized that I hadn't put a single point in adaptability. So thank you Dark Souls 2 for not telling me about the stat that literally determines the amount of iframes I have when dodging. Like, why? I don't even understand. I guess it does make a bit of sense, but like, when I start a new playthrough, I want to be able to make a specialized build. I want to be able to really invest in one stat or another. And forcing me to put so many points in a thing that you have to use, which is dodging, is kind of annoying. It forces you to invest less points in your actual build. It's just like Vigor in Elden Ring. It's something you have to invest in, and it will make your build weaker because it doesn't affect your damage. So it just kind of waste level in something that doesn't contribute to your build at all. And should already be something I have and don't have to invest in that much. And dodging. Can we talk about that for a sec? In Dark Souls 1 and 3, and all the Souls game really, I know clearly when I have iframes in my dodge. I can see it, and I get used to the timing. But when I play Dark Souls 2, I can't get used to it, because the amount of iframes constantly changes because of adaptability. And also, the animation is just bent forward, a long roll that is very unclear and doesn't symbolize where at all the iframes are, and then you stand up. And I really can't tell when I have iframes. And like, I feel like the devs did this on purpose to make me fail my timings, and it's not even only the rolls. I feel like the devs have intentionally made all the animations and movement feel off and clunky. Just weird, like, just to, well, I don't know what they tried to do, but they definitely tried something and it didn't work. And still today, I have bullshit moments where I'm like, this shouldn't have hit me. And they also just decrease the amount of iframes. Maybe that's fine. I guess they just tried to make it less forgiving, and I can understand, but like, rolls in Dark Souls 2 just feel so random. Like, still today, whenever I roll, I just pray to Miyazaki-san and I don't get hit. And this is the only FromSoft game where I do this. And I shouldn't have to pray. Oh, and last thing. Sometimes the boxes just look very goofy, so I don't know if it's just me or is Is the game really just like what is that? 7. Its attitude. So this one might confuse you, so let me explain what I mean. So there's an achievement for dying called "This is Dark Souls." Like, oh my god, no, it fucking isn't. Dark Souls doesn't equal a hard game where you die. I hate how the game behaves like a fucking elitist hardcore gamer that I would find on forums, insulting people of casuals. And I also have a problem with the old fucking ladies that trot out the band just laugh at you and say that you're gonna die over and over again, lose your souls. Like, my god, I already complained about this as well, but like, why are the first NPCs assholes? Like, game, why is the first thing you do is mocking me? Why? And I think this just confirmed the whole thing that Dark Souls got affected negatively by the super hardcore game reputation that Dark Souls has. Like, it truly seemed like they tried the hardest to make the game as hard as possible because it's Dark Souls 2, you know, the sequel of the hard game. 8. The controls and HUD. Like, double click. What the fuck is double click? Like, honestly, when I first started playing Dark Souls 2, I did nothing for 40 minutes trying to figure out good controls. Like, I'm not surprised people didn't play this game because they couldn't figure out the controls or menus. And also, when I spam attack in any of the Souls games, I'll just attack as fast as possible. But if you spam in Dark Souls 2, he'll hit once, and then wait, and then maybe hit again if you get lucky. Like, I don't know why, but to attack multiple times, you have to follow a weird timing. That just adds useless complexity to the fights that are already a pain. Like, this was one of the reasons I struggled so badly in the first few hours. I was trying to attack, but my character would just stand around, and adding this to the horrible delay on inputs, it made this game so horrible to play. I was uncomfortable doing anything with my character. And for the HUD, I shouldn't have to do research to unequip a spell or to confirm the changes I made to my settings. Like, it is the most unintuitive HUD setting and like a menu inventory I've ever seen. Like, it is painful to navigate. Like, really, the most angry I've gotten playing a Souls game was in Dark Souls 2's inventory. And the worst is, I'm barely exaggerating. 9. Everything is here. And now finally, for all the general things that Dark Souls 2 did that didn't fit in other category, just to fuck with you. Making the ancient dragon boss a thing. Make enemies disappear after you kill them enough times so that, you know, farming enemy armor and weapon is convenient. Not have a single barefoot boss lady. Asset flipping and cheap buffing. I love my weapon. I love my weapon. Where is my weapon? Make a cat talk.
Oh, don't feel bad. I'm sure your mother's still proud.
Make a rat talk. Oh wait, no, that's actually pretty cool. Giving a crow human hybrid abomination an ass. Calling the bardiche a scythe. Making so that I need to win 500 duels to max out a covenant. Jesus Christ. Letting me choose how a woman should dress. Not be exactly the same as Dark Souls 1, like were you not exactly the same as Dark Souls 1, were you different, I don't understand. Anyways, thank you for watching. Your presence until the end is appreciated. So yeah, there's not much else to talk about. I mean, that's... Dark Souls 2 is terrible. It's worst Souls game. And bye, I guess. Finally finished this video. Well, let's go back to my usual staring at the old pastime.
My child.
Oh my god, who are you?
ITS me, Hidetaka Miyazaki, and you have sinned by making this video. But it is not too late.
Oh my god, it's you, Miyazaki. Oh well, what can I just repent myself?
You need to make a video about all the good things Dark Souls 2 did.
But I can't. It's just too fucking bad.
No, my child. You in of RE long. Let me show you the way.
I see it now. Thank you, Miyazaki. I'll do it. I finally see it. You were at my side all along. Best Souls 2.
I tricked them. I tricked them all. It was me, B team. Hidetaka has been taken care of. No one can stop me now. Soon, everyone will love Dark Souls 2.
Oh, sorry, what did you say?
Nothing.